Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is Sunday, November 11th, 2018. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. And for those of you who are off tomorrow as well. Alright guys, let's get into some space news. But before we jump into the program, I want to start a hashtag. Hashtag Dr. Strong is wrong. And the reason why I say this is there's a solar physicist out there, Mr. Dr. Strong. I don't know his first name. It's not really worth mentioning. Actually, I am. I apologize for that. But it's funny to me that he is from, is it UK area as well, Mari? I think so. Yeah, he's over there in the UK. And this week, the wonderful Valentina Zarkova, boy, she really exploded as far as the science community is concerned this week. Lots of information about her latest presentation, supergram minimum, all this other kinds of really cooling talk. And I find it so funny to me. The divide between global cooling and global warming is so ridiculous. There's not even any kind of happy medium or medium or a gray area at all. I just listened to a presentation by Dr. Strong is Wrong, and he is telling people that solar cycle 25 is actually going to be stronger than 24. And what's great, here's his proof, guys, and I'll go into this real quick, and then we'll get right into the news. Let's see if you can see that. See, okay. Oh, wait. It wasn't that one, actually. It was this. This little area right here, this is not even considered an active region. Yes, there is a slight filament explosion right there, and it does appear to be a little more active, but this is nothing. This is nothing. In fact, they're watching a region over in here that has just possibly broken the sunspot record, or I'm sorry, the streak of 24 days without a sunspot. But Derek Strong is really convinced that this area right here, not even named a sunspot, is the beginning of solar cycle 25. So there's the first wrong observation he actually made. And then the second observation that he's wrong about is that he's still calling for, even if we have an 11-year cycle, let's say solar cycle 19 starts, he's still saying that we are going to see just about twice as much solar maximum activity that we had in this current solar cycle 24. And basically tells everyone that the grand solar minimum theory gets thrown out the window because of this area right here. This guy, this supposed solar physicist, by the way, he thinks he is calling that this is the reason why we don't have to worry about a grand solar minimum right here. So I thought that was hilarious. I heard that right before we came on the air, and I kind of wanted to share that with everyone just for the sake of I needed a good laugh today, and that was definitely hilarious. So all those words that Valentina Zarkova had just presented in her presentation, I guess he felt like he wasn't getting any attention. So instead of like coming back and saying, well, it's not going to be that weak, but it's going to be a weak solar cycle, he comes back and says the complete opposite and makes it stronger. Not by a little, but by twice the strength, if not 3 times the strength. Over this little tiny area right here. He thinks this is the beginning of solar cycle 25. And he's a solar physicist. Now, this is not the first time that we've had an area of activity on our sun at this altitude with reverse polarity. This is kind of a spotty event, and this is what happens before we go into the next solar cycle. A lot of folks believe, and I'm one of those people, we still probably have about 7 to 9 months left of solar cycle 25, or 24, I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. So anyway, it's just funny how like the other side is completely against trying to work together or not even find a solution. They want to make sure they're on the polar opposites of what we're trying to teach here on this side of the ball, which is ridiculous. Because to me, I I wondered if this guy had any credibility. And now I see that he doesn't. He's just pissing and moaning because he's not the English-speaking lad that's getting all the attention for solar physicists when it's actually Valentina Zarkova, who is a PhD in astrophysics, astronomy as well, and mathematics. I guess some people just like to throw shade and rain on parades. And this video that he put out was just absolutely factless and 100% biased and 100% opinion. And I say that because I've seen this guy's presentations before, and they've all been the same narrative. They're always on the positive side of where we are. Instead of trying to agree halfway or maybe a third, it's complete opposite. So I think people that follow this channel and other channels like it understand what the grand solar minimum and what's happening right now in solar minimum. There's a lot of speculation now that we could see a solar 25 and then go into 2030 with the next grand solar minimum starting then, possibly even 2041. Some believe that we are in a grand solar minimum now. Now, if that's true, I have said this many, many times that solar cycle 25 has been called one of the most unknown predictive solar cycle. A lot of scientists do believe that solar cycle 25 is going to be the cycle of unknowns. But again, with what we've seen, with the work of Valentina Zarkova and many, many, many other PhD scientists out there, we know what's happening. We see what's happening. And every time we talk about the effects of a grand solar minimum or what could happen during space weather events, the proof shows up in our weather headlines and our volcano eruptions and our earthquakes. So I guess I apologize for starting Sunday night a little bit with a rant, but at the same time, more misinformation from people like Dr. Strong, who is just part of that AGW narrative and agenda, and will say anything like Paul Beckwith does, and others like Al Gore. They'll say anything extreme to help sell what they're pushing. And that's it. And I don't think I have to come on the air on a nightly basis or every other nightly basis and talk about the negatives of what's happening around the world. I don't have to stress the bad part every night. A lot of the nights I just read the articles, and sometimes that stresses the bad stuff. But, again, I just find it hilarious that there's such a huge divide between people in the crowd that believe we're still warming and the people in the crowd who believe we're cooling. There's no gray area, period. Let's move right along into some space weather, shall we? 575.1 kilometers per second is our solar wind speed currently, so that's a bit elevated. 7.3 density, and this is a region right here they have circled here at spaceweather.com that is possibly a new sunspot number 11 that broke the 24-day streak without sunspots. But right now we're sitting at 190 days without sunspots, so it does look like we're going to eclipse that 200-day mark of spotless days in 2018, and this is just the very beginning. 45 billion watts is our TCI, still cold. And taking a look at our KP indices, we're starting to quiet down a little bit at a 1 as we have been in a 24-hour max of 4. We did have a minor issue with some space weather. Let's take a look now. Here's our SDO. The corona is finally starting to heal itself a little bit, it does look like. But I want to show you guys this too. Taking a look at our backside of our sun, other than this little area that we have right now. That is not even, in my opinion, big enough to even consider as a sunspot. As we get Earth facing, there's our little area that they're talking about. It's quiet. There's that other area, the reverse polarity. I don't believe it's going to turn into much. And the weaker sunspot area right now, sunspot number 11. But folks, unless something suddenly develops, we could see another streak of sunspots from anywhere from 15 to 17 days without sunspots once this one fades out, if it ever really does occur. And looking at our SDO in motion, like we have been, it looks like that we are just concentrating on this coronal hole, which we'll see some effects from that here in the next couple days. There's our area that reverse polarity, but again, is not the sign or the signal for solar cycle 25. It's not even being named as a sunspot. And here is the region that is growing into a sunspot as we watch that turn towards Earth, as this would be sunspot number 11 at the time. So we'll keep our eyes on that, see how much bigger or smaller that does get in the coming days. Taking a look at our TSI readings for November 3rd, 2018, came in at a 1360.699, so back down to the 0.6 values. And a lot of people talking about this fire here in California, and so should they be. This is a tragic situation. There are a lot of speculation out there on what's caused it or what's happening out there, or some very unfavorable media attention for sure on Twitter about this situation. And first and foremost, I just want to add that our prayers and thoughts here at the Grand Solar Minimum are with the folks here in California, Paradise, other areas that's been affected by this fire, and really has gotten out of control for the most part. Let's go ahead and read a little bit of this update. The most destructive wildfire in California history leveled nearly an entire city of Paradise as firefighters battled massive fires on both sides of the state. At least 23 people were killed by so-called campfire in Butte County, authorities had said. Most of the buildings in Paradise are in ruins, and it's a business district that's destroyed. Campfire, which began on Thursday, has destroyed more than 6,700 structures, almost all of them homes. Authorities said they are searching for more than 100 people who are still missing. We are doing everything possible we can to identify those remains and make contact with next of kin so we can return the remains to the family, says the sheriff of Butte County. Campfire is just one of 3 major wildfires that firefighters are battling across the state. 70,000 acres of Woosley fire tore through Malibu mansions and working-class suburban homes in Southern California hills and canyons. Less than 2 days, the Woosley fires and the Hill Fire, which is also burning in Southern California, prompted evacuation orders for more than 250,000 people. Here we have a look at the map as we have the fires in Northern California near San Francisco, and now areas, Hill and Woosley fires, which are not too far. They're just north of Los Angeles. In fact, there's an NFL game being played as we speak in Los Angeles, and they actually considered possibly moving it to a possible Monday night game, but they did move on with the schedule. As you see, none of the smoke is blowing anywhere near Los Angeles right now. Gold Rush era bridge destroyed by flames. A celebrated 132-year-old Gold Rush era wooden bridge in Butte County is among the losses from devastating Northern California wildfire. Think about that, guys. That bridge has been there for 132 years. It survived many solar minimums. It survived many fire seasons, but yet this was the one that took it out. This is historic. San Francisco Chronicle reports that 238-foot Honey Run covered bridge near Chico was leveled in the fire that ripped through the area late Thursday. All that's left are charred wooden beams, rippled metal sheet, and red steel beams protruding from the concrete. The newspaper reports it is only the 3-span truss bridge of its kind in the United States. The only 3-span truss bridge of its kind in the United States. It was a backdrop for countless wedding and other celebration photos over the recent years, have been used for movie nights as well. Honey Run Covered Bridge was listed on the Register of Historic Places and even had its own association to look after it, and this is absolutely sad. A piece of American history is now gone as well. Built in 1886, guys. 2 newspaper workers missing after the wildfire. Northern California newspaper is among those searching for missing people in the wake of a deadly wildfire. David Little, who is editor of the Chico Enterprise Record and Orville Mercury Register, said they hope to hear from the employees Dan Sloan and Sarah Release. Sloan is a press operator who was scheduled to work Saturday night but did not show. He lives in Magilla, which is one of the places hit hard in Butte County. Release works in classified ads and lives in Paradise, which was decimated by a campfire. Little said friends of the second press operator told the publisher he was safe. Our missing employees are more important than anyone else's, but they are ours, so I'm trying, he tweeted. I hope they are all and the other missing people are safe, hunkered down somewhere. Strong Santa Ana winds have returned to Southern California, fanning the huge wildfire that scorched a string of communities among Los Angeles. One day lull in the dry northeasterly winds ended Sunday morning, and authorities warned that the gusts will continue through Tuesday. Fire officials said the law allowed firefighters to gain 10% control of the so-called Woolsey fire, which has burned more than 80,000 acres in western Los Angeles County and southeastern Ventura County. Los Angeles County Fire Chief Darrell Osby said that means that 90% of the fire lines are uncontained. There are numerous hot spots and plenty of fuel have not burned. Huge plumes of smoke are rising again in the fire area, which stretches miles from the northwest corner of Los Angeles, San Fernando Valley to Malibu coast. Governor requests federal disaster declaration. This is where things are starting to get a little dicey here. California Governor Jerry Brown has requested a major disaster declaration from the president for wildfire burnings at both ends of the state. His office said the statement Sunday that declaration would bolster ongoing emergency assistance and help residents recover from fires burning in Butte, Los Angeles, and Ventura counties. If granted, the declaration would make individuals eligible for crisis counseling, housing, and unemployment help. Also, legal aid would be included with that. We have 100 people missing. Now, I want to briefly make a comment on the grants. There's a lot of folks trying to drum up the beat of this political, including the president himself, about the funding to this state. There's some accusations that this state is doing things so bad that they are purposely allowing such events like these to start. And unfortunately, this one has gone out of control. And some people are actually saying that this is a cry for funding for their broken state's budget. All I have to say is I really hope that's not the case. This is an awful situation, especially if this was supposed to be some kind of controlled burn. But on top of that, there are people, real people, who are affected by this right now. So let's try to take the concerns out from the political standpoint of all this, and let's think about the people who are suffering right now, who are missing, loved ones who can't reach their other loved ones to let them know they're okay. That there's a possibility of that as well. But we've already lost 23 people with 100 missing. The thought and the hope that it won't be this way, but the thought is right now that out of those 100 missing, there will be some casualties as well that will be announced. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on that, the campfire location. Here's the acreage burn from these three fires, and right now it's just under 200,000 acres. But my goodness, that's a lot of acres. We've already had lots of land burned out that way, and these pictures really just say it all, folks. This is something that looks like you would see in a Walking Dead episode or some kind of apocalyptic end of the world video or movie. Red flag warning also extended in California. This is important, guys. Winds. Here's the timing. Saturday night through Monday morning, which has already started. They are looking at northeast winds, 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts of 30 to 50. Minimum daytime humidity is going to be 10 to 15%. So, my goodness. Just the situation continues to stay on alert right now as we continue through Sunday evening into Monday morning. Guys, you want to take a look at this, rest of this article and the statistics on it. We'll leave the link in the description. Again, our thoughts and prayers with those folks affected right now from these fires. And let's hope that we can find the ones that are missing and get people back on the road to recovery as fast as possible, if possible. And some more bad news. This time we're talking about Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. At least 10 people have been killed and 11 others injured after heavy rains caused large landslides in Rio de Janeiro metropolitan region on November 10th. The event took place in the Boa Esperança community in the region on the morning hours of Saturday, November 10th. Authorities said the rain loosened a large boulder which then struck 6 homes. 11 people were rescued from the debris, firefighters said, adding the death toll could rise as rescue workers continue to search and rescue operations. Civil Defense authorities said they've received 135 calls for assistance between the 7th and 9th of November due to heavy rains. Let's see if this is video footage. This is aerial footage here on Euro News YouTube channel. There's parts of the landslide. Goodness. More footage in here as well, thanks to the watchers. Floods and landslides are common in Brazil. The country's worst landslide disaster took place in 2011 when a whole hillside collapsed after heavy rains hit the state of Rio de Janeiro, killing 1,000 people. I'm not laughing at the death part. I'm laughing at the fact that I can't say Rio de Janeiro for some reason. I don't know what the heck the problem is. Sometimes the mouthpiece doesn't always work the way you like it to, folks. Record-breaking cold snap wipes out the vineyards in Western Australia. Winemakers in Western Australia, Great Southern region, are reeling from a recent frost event that damaged up to 80% of their vines. The acclaimed Franklin River wine region, 120 kilometers northwest of Albany, was the worst hit by record low temperatures for November, which swept across the region earlier this week. Franklin River is renowned for its Riesling and its Shiraz, but the upcoming season may not be as fruitful. And what a blow to the wine industry. We were talking about this in the spring, how a lot of vineyards in France were damaged as well. We had a lot of vineyards damaged crops this year earlier, and now we're seeing it once and again. He said the cold snap broke several records across the region. Bridgetown and Katanning, about 120 kilometers northwest, east of Franklin River, respectively, experienced the coldest November night in 20 years of record keeping on November 6th. The frost came as a crucial time of new growth from the vines approaching flowering. A lot of those vine leaves are quite thin, so actually doesn't take much frost to freeze and kill those shoots right off. We're probably a week away from some of the early varieties like Chardonnay going into flowering. So it's a really critical time of the year, and that's where we'll see the most significant losses. Pay attention, folks. Not only will your food prices go up, but so will your wine prices. We already talked about how the grand solar minimum is going to affect beer prices too. Obviously, with crop failure, hops and barleys become difficult to grow when you've got fields flooded out worldwide. Cold snaps like this wiping out crops. We had it in New York as well. The damage comes as Franklin River's wineries recoup their losses from a 2014 hail event that left a trail of destruction across the region. They lost 90% of their crop back then. We're actually just recovering from that, and all that's happening all over again. Mr. Hallett, who is a person who works there, this is heartbreaking. They just recovered from a huge crop loss, and now they're starting all over once again with this right here. Good shot of the sky. Cloud nucleation, cosmic rays, wisping, forming cloud nuclei. I tell you, we call it cloud nucleation. Others call it chemtrailing. It's funny. Record-breaking frigid temperatures grip southern Saskatchewan. Finally got that one right. 4 communities smashed years-old record temperature on Friday, Environmental Canada says. An Arctic air mass gripped the 4 southern Saskatchewan communities last week, smashing years-old record temperatures. The temperature in the Moose Jaw, Regina, Watrous, and Weyburn dipped below negative 20 degrees Celsius early Friday morning. Meanwhile, the Regina broke a nearly century-old record that day with the temperature dropping to negative 24.9 degrees Celsius. The previous record was only a degree warmer than what was recorded the other day, which that was set back in 1919. Moose Jaw had a chilly new record of negative 26.7 degrees Celsius, breaking the previous record of 23.9 degrees Celsius set in 1945. Watrous reported a frigid temperature of negative 24.1, breaking a 21.1 record set 58 years ago. Also, Weyburn's also hit negative 23.7, just barely breaking that from 1973 of 23.3 degrees Celsius. Accidents closed interstates as first heavy lake effect snow event. Stretches of interstates closed on early Saturday morning as accidents assured amid the first widespread and heavy lake effect snow event of the season. Cold air will plunge southeastward during the weekend. As that cold air passes over the warm waters of the Great Lakes, clouds will build and form streaks of snow showers known as lake effect snow. Under these conditions, these showers can extend 100 miles or more downwind of the Great Lakes, where these bands of snow will persist. A heavy amount of snow can fall. We do know that we got about 8 to 12 inches of snow in the south towns here in New York, western New York. One of the most intense bands of the lake effect snow is falling downwind Lake Erie, south of Buffalo, New York, and North Erie, Pennsylvania, according to AccuWeather senior meteorologist Christina Pinzowski. Visibility dropped down to 0 at Dunkirk, with persistent thunder snow reported. Wow. Again, a lot of people speculate thunder snow with lots of highly charged particles in our atmosphere that create this as well, and some of that moisture being a little bit warmer, mixing with that colder Arctic air as it passes over those lakes, causing that effect. As far as accumulations are concerned, parts of northern Michigan and areas of New York State from Syracuse to south of Watertown, known as the Tug Hill Plateau region, have a good chance of picking up close to a foot of snow, according to AccuWeather senior meteorologist Brian Wimmer. This event was short-lived. It's moved on, but we did indeed, these areas that we see the darker blue right in this area right here, did see between 8 and 12 inches of snow. More snow to talk about. Several cities in northeast Ohio. Here's some of the totals. West Edgewood, 8 inches. Plymouth Center, 8 inches. South Conant, 8 inches. Southwest Harbor, 8 inches. East Ashtabula, 8 inches. Kellogg'sville, 7. 5 in West Conneaut. South Madison picked up 3 inches. And a minor 1 inch in Lenox Center. A couple inches here. South Madison and Montville also picked up an inch. Madison and Lake County picked up 4. As Mentor picked up 2 inches. Concord only picking up 1. So we saw a wide variety of 1 to 8 inches of snow, not quite as much in Buffalo, but still significant snowfall around the Great Lakes. Also snow on the way for Oklahoma today and Monday. Snow is moving into Oklahoma today and Monday, and a winter weather advisory has been issued by the National Weather Service. Up to 3 inches of snow is possible Sunday night in western and northern parts of the state as temperatures drop into the 20s. Snow is possible in Oklahoma City 7 a.m. Monday afterwards as well. A winter weather advisory is in effect from 6 p.m. Sunday until noon on Monday, where it could be more than 3 inches of snowfall in northwest Oklahoma. Mixture of rain and snow in Oklahoma City is expected, with about an inch of snow possible in parts of central Oklahoma on Monday. Never fear though, sunshine will return to Oklahoma City Tuesday, but the high temperature will only be 38 degrees. .51 on Sunday, low at 33. Monday we get around a high of 31 degrees. Monday night, looking at a low around 21. Tuesday a high at 38, 24 degrees for the low. These are several degrees below temperature averages here for this time of year in this part of Oklahoma, folks. This is not December. This weather pattern that we're seeing right now is a typical December-January setup. Dusting of snow, rain, freezing temperatures in forecast for North Texas. Fort Worth, mosquitoes will not like the North Texas weather in the next few days, and that's probably a good thing for the citizens of Texas. Showers and isolated thunderstorms are in the forecast for Sunday night, but a cold front arrives, bringing with it more rain and a dusting of snow and freezing temperatures. With record-breaking rain this fall in North Texas, mosquitoes have been the biggest pest for outdoor activities, but they are cold-blooded and prefer temperatures above 80 degrees. At temperatures less than 50, they shut down for the winter, some even dying. For at least the next 2 mornings this week, temperatures will be below freezing. So, another area in this part of the country that's going to be seeing temperatures in the 30s and the 20s. And it's only the 11th and 12th and 13th of November. And just a little bit of a summary here for what's to happen here early this week as well. ABC News also wrapped it up. Perrysburg, New York reported 13.8 inches of snow on Saturday, with squalls leading near to zero visibility, gusts up to 30 miles per hour. There are still some lake effect snow showers occurring on Sunday morning in parts of Michigan and New York. The lake effect snow will wind down later today, which it has already. Notable cold blast is affecting the central U.S. and eastern U.S. For many, Washington, D.C. to Boston, it's finally feeling like winter, with wind chills in the 20s today. A new storm is developing in the central U.S. will bring snow, a threat to parts of southern and central plains from Amarillo, Texas to Wichita, Kansas. Accumulations will generally be light, only 1 to 3 inches of snow expected. However, gusty winds will make conditions quite treacherous on Monday morning in the Texas Panhandle. So actually, probably a really good thing that school is not in tomorrow. For those of you who don't have to go to work in this area, this part of the country, this is probably a good day to have off. Weather is not going to be too nice in the morning here on Monday. This disturbance will form and head out towards the Midwest, and it'll reach here by Tuesday for the East Coast. By midweek, behind the system, another strong blast of cold air will infiltrate the central and eastern U.S. with negative wind chills for the upper Midwest by Tuesday. It will feel like in the teens from Texas to Indiana. Again, negative wind chills, and we are talking about November 11th, November 12th. Then on Wednesday, the cold air will make its way to the northeast with wind chills in the teens for the major I-95 cities, and every day feeling more and more like winter. Hey Noah, what happened to your above average temperatures for November through December? Where is that? Because the bulk of the country was supposed to be, I'd say from starting right in here, this is the only area that was supposed to stay right. Everything up above this line that I'm pointing at right now was supposed to be from 30 to 60% warmer. Okay? So that means Texas, that's getting the snow. Why? Noah said you were going to be 60% warmer. Same with Oklahoma. Same with up here. Kansas, Nebraska, Wyoming. All of you. You guys were supposed to be warmer this month. Oh, by the way, guys. Oh, wait. I thought I had it. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Here's those numbers that I wanted to show y'all. Starman had put this together. The bottom row indicates 2018. This, right down here where my arrow is, 25.7 is January. 25.97 is February. 26.48 is, well, we got, this is April. Sorry, it's March, I'm sorry. So here's where we're supposed to warm up to about 28 degrees Celsius. By the way, we're looking at the El Nino 3-4 region. These are the numbers that Starman had fetched from NOAA themselves and posted these numbers from 1948 to now. And it's astonishing because we talked about the super El Nino that happened supposedly in 2015 and 2016. We'll get more on that. But look, guys, we never got higher than a 29.11. Super El Nino is 30 degrees Celsius at a +2. All right, so this was just an average El Nino in 2015 and 2016. So imagine what a super El Nino would feel like if you remember what that felt like. And I do, because I was at a football game in 2015 in Cleveland, Ohio on December 15th, and I was wearing shorts and a jacket. It was 65 degrees in Cleveland. But imagine what a real super El Nino would have felt like that winter. But anyway, back to the numbers here. January, February, March, April, May, 27, 784. Now, folks, from March, from this point here, all the way through mid-June, is supposed to have a reading of 28 degrees Celsius. Okay? Not once have we had a monthly run of 28 degrees Celsius. Here is October's numbers: 27.5, 27.19 in September, 26.95, 27. So it actually cooled off in August, the numbers. I'll show you them today too. What's going on right now, you say? Look at that. Let's refresh it. It dropped even more since the show started. So here we are once again, El Nino. We are back down to the threshold of 28 degrees Celsius. This pretty much indicates that as well. Let's go ahead and zoom this in a little bit. Check it out. 25, that's a new low right there, guys. 26, 27, 27, 28, 28, 29. These were all 28s and 29s just a week ago, guys. So we are once again watching this region cool. And even here in the center, a couple 30s, but 29, 28, 27, and then the wheels fall off as you continue to move towards South America. So just something to continue to watch. El Nino, their report from NOAA came out. The updated forecast, the confidence and strength. So NOAA says that we have an 80% chance of El Nino forming, a weak one. Interesting. Considering this is where we're standing right now with El Nino. Right here. And that is 0.558. Let me go ahead and zoom that in for you guys so you can see it too. Move that up a little bit. There we go. So right back down to the threshold. Barely. We're almost neutral. And, just a couple of days ago, I thought the plunging would stop and it would start to go back up a little bit. Maybe, right here in this point right here is where we would see the temperature start rebounding again and moving back up. Because this is, according to someone who makes an 80% confidence in predicting an El Nino, you would think that these temperatures will run back up because we're supposed to have like a 3-month average of 28 degrees Celsius or higher. And then from the month of November to February, we're supposed to look at readings between 0.5 and up to 1.5 degrees Celsius above baseline, which again is not quite the super El Nino that they claimed. But anyway, we're not seeing those kinds of anomalies right now. And I think also Starman's numbers, they are also pointing out that we never seen, and still haven't yet this year, a 28 degree monthly average temperatures in the El Nino 3-4 region. I mentioned earlier this week as well about the North Atlantic warming. It looks like it's finally hit a plateau and it is starting to decline. But let's watch this, guys, because this is another one. We've been paying attention to this all year. And it's funny because during the part of the year where it was supposed to be warming up, it cooled down, and now we're supposed to be cooling down in this region, and it's warming up a little bit. So could it be underground volcanoes? Could it be that anomaly that we had for October in the North Arctic? Who knows? We'll just continue to monitor this as close as possible. Taking a look at the snowfall through now and November 21st. And it does look like here on after Monday, we will definitely have enough chances for snow as we move out through the week. It looks like central U.S., Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, you're going to get your snow early. The Northeast, you could continue to pile up snow as the week moves away because temperatures are going to stay in that cold area for us. And I'll go ahead and take a look at the GFS right now. Starting with tonight's weather, kind of quiet, but Colorado is starting to see a development of snow. And here we go at that region that we were talking about that could see the 1 to 3 inches in Oklahoma and north parts of Texas as well. As we move out into Monday morning, look, we got a lot of soggy conditions in the south, the deep south. You're stuck with rain. This storm, when we first started talking about this a week ago, showed a lot more promise of snow on the backside of this. It does, but it does look like the farther north you are in the Northeast, the better chance you'll have for more snow accumulations. And I'm going to go ahead and say it, Ohio, Central Ohio, looks like you guys are just going to see some flakes, maybe a trace to a dusting of snowfall. And with the temperatures barely above freezing here, it just depends on when they start dropping in the upstate New York area. As we saw our first snowflakes fly on Saturday, and we're talking about possibly 1 inch to 3 inches of snow. However, I have seen AccuWeather back that forecast down to only 1 inch, maybe under 1 inch of snow by Tuesday morning. As this moves out of here Tuesday, it will change back over to snow, so they say. But the GFS model here looks like it's going to stay snow as cold air will push through Wednesday, and we might get some lake effect snow after that system moves out. Now the south wants to form another storm, and as it does, it'll move through the northeast, mix rain and snow and sleet to move through the upstate New York. A lot of rain on the backside of this. If you live in Canada, here comes more snow. And that storm moves out by Saturday, November 17th. I remember I told you guys last week the 15th would look like our break. Now it's moved a little bit. Maybe the 17th and 18th might be the quietest days on our GFS forecast, as high pressure really dominates the United States from the 19th on. And then as we get into about the 20th of November, another shot of snow heading towards the northeast. This time it becomes a little more widespread and also ends quickly. And look at what we got over here, guys. It's too bad we can't get this a little quicker. But we do have some much needed rain heading into the California region, the areas that are affected by the fires. Unfortunately, the Malibu areas are not as affected as the Northern California areas, but it does look like a decent shot of rain will move through California on the 21st through the 23rd. And then by near Thanksgiving, we could be talking about another storm system plowing through the mid-Atlantic states into the northeast. And again, backside, southern Canada, lots of snow, but Oklahoma and Kansas, watch out. Once again, another snow system starting to develop in the center of our country on the 27th of November. So, lots of cold air. Plenty of cold air, plenty of moisture. We are still going to get the break that I said we were. It's just going to be a little bit later. About a 3-day break where most of the country should stay dry for the most part. I'm not promising anything, but it does look like we might get a 3-day lull as far as weather events are concerned. But still, got to be one of the wettest autumns I've seen in a while. And watching these temperatures here, this is early November into mid-November. That cold air keeps plunging further and further south. We recover just nicely in the daytime for the most part. 50s and 60s in the south, 40s and 30s throughout most of the country, though. And by the end of the month, we start to see the warmth trying to take back over again as we get near the 60s and the deep south and 70s as well. Now look here as we get close to Thanksgiving. Back here in the northwest, we got a massive cold air that is plunging down and trying to make its way south once again. As we move through the 25th, that cold air is still trying to filter through. But each day we move forward in this forecast, it does look like we are going to get another shot of Arctic air to start off the month of December. It's too early to tell, but right now, looking at the warm-up, it looks like that 60s and 50s is not going to reach all the way up into the northeast. It's going to settle right in this region right here. And as we move towards the end of the month, this area, what we thought might have had some 60s, some readings of 60s up in this area, that looks like it's going to disappear. It's going to level out into upper 40s instead. So as we look forward to the future, the end of this month, we are tracking more colder weather to begin the month of December. And it'll be curious to also pay attention to when we get that first real cold snap. Because remember, folks, if you lived in the Northeast last year, we got the brutal cold by the middle of December. We were talking about 20s and 30s for highs by then. And the reason why we still got snow with that was because the lake temperatures were still well above freezing, so we were able to pick up a lot of snow from that cold air that was coming in from the Arctic. But taking a look at some of the images right now, currently, the November 10th sea ice extent, I see more growth. Every day we look at it, this seems to get a little bit stronger. Even though we're seeing temperatures in the North Atlantic heating up, we're still seeing ice extent growing. And I will be able to prove that as well. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. So where's my favorite chart at? My favorite troll who thinks I don't show the truth. I really appreciate you getting me to do this because it's really shown me. Okay, now we're over 9.1 million square kilometers of ice. We continue to grow. That distance between this line that you wanted me to pay attention to is growing a lot closer together, folks. And so we've seen some rapid growth up here in the Arctic and the sea ice. I don't see any problems with the sea ice expanding at this point. And at this rate, if this continues, we could see these lines cross each other somewhere at this point, which would put us right around the mid-December, late December area. So we'll just keep our eyes on this. But right now, it appears to be continuing for sea ice to continue to grow as we head into December. We're not even in the heart of winter yet. We're just still in the autumn months of fall. So we will keep an eye on this currently. Here is a current look, by the way, of our radar. We got lots of snow in the south. This is a forecast moving out to Wednesday. Let's go right here. Let's take a look and see where we are right now at this current time. We anticipate this moisture that's out in the Pacific right now. And, we can't express how quickly we hope that this rain does arrive and holds some of its severity as it comes closer to the west coast. Let's move it along a little bit. It looks like it's diminishing. So unfortunately, not as heavy as this started out. Again, we don't expect any kind of real rain in this region until right around the 19th and the 20th of November in this particular spot. So again, guys, we'll keep you all updated on Grand Solar Minimum news, what's going on with the fire situation, and also the snow and the cold that we are tracking. Most of the Northeast will be talking about snow showers on Monday, late Monday into Tuesday morning. A possibility that was originally thought was going to change over to rain, but it does look like the temperatures are going to support a snow shower activity possible for the latter parts of the days in parts of upstate New York, central New York, on into New England from parts of central northeastern Ohio as well. All right, so that's what I got tonight. Mara, would you like to say hello to everybody in the chat? I know you're busy away, typing away and saying hello to people.
I am. I don't know if people can hear me. You think I'm close enough? I got the mic
turned up, so
all right. So welcome everyone to GSM. It is always a pleasure to have you in the chat. We have loads of people in the chat tonight. Rob's mad at me. I was telling people it was his birthday tomorrow. So
sorry, Dad.
I'm just gonna say it's not his birthday. Don't mind the chatter and the banter about the cake. I'll take it all back.
Listen, I'm not saying it's his birthday tomorrow, but it's his birthday tomorrow.
And to go right with it, he is a veteran. We have several subscribers.
Thank you very much, Rob.
That are veterans. Thank you for your service. That means so much to us, and we have much respect to our vets out there. I've put a link to our Discord chat, so a lot of people, they get a little upset when we go offline. They just wish they could stay in the chat a little bit longer. Well, good news is we're keeping our Discord chat open for everyone who wants to be respectful and polite and nice and kind. So I went ahead and I put the link in the chat. I'll put it in the description as well. Definitely join us over there to continue on the conversation when we're not live.
Right. Thank you, Mara, very much. And again, guys, I want to remind everybody today's... Oh, what?
Also, Av Team sent a super chat. Thank you so much. We're humbled by that.
Av Team is a new member in our Discord as well.
He's also, I don't know if it's he. Is it a he or she?
I don't know if it's he or she, but I do know they are in the chat as well in the Discord.
So thank you.
And once again, to help support our new tweet tonight, our hashtag Dr. Strong is wrong on Twitter tonight, folks. When you post about anything Solar Cycle 25 related, just make sure you include the hashtag Dr. Strong is wrong hashtag. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you for tuning in to the Sunday evening edition of the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Please remember to like and share and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell as well for future notifications of our shows. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow night as well. Until then, we will talk soon, people. Take care.